Hey everyone, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Thank you for checking it out and thank you for following me on Instagram. So today I'm continuing on becoming a professional. We're going to focus on working on the fundamentals. Now, everyone has the potential and the ability to make a lot of money or be very successful. Whatever it is that you strive for in life, you have the ability to do it. Okay? The one thing you have to understand is that you're not going to wake up tomorrow and be the next Warren Buffett, Michael Jordan, Grant Cardone, Kobe Bryant, Ashton Kutcher. Okay? There's a lot of work, a lot of time, and a lot of effort that goes into this. And this is one of the next steps in becoming a professional, whatever that means to you. So, how do we reach the levels of success that these other people have made it to? It starts with the fundamentals, and you're going to hear this throughout most of the videos I do, even after my series on becoming a professional. Each and every one of us has different fundamentals. So what we're going to focus on today is I'm just going to use five fundamentals that I use for myself and that I work on constantly. Okay, so working on your fundamentals and having your base fundamentals is the first thing to start, and you can use mine as an example, and I hope everyone has their own. So let's look at the ones I'm going to use. So we got communication, appearance, your body language and self-awareness, attitudes, and mindsets. Okay, I use these examples of fundamentals because anyone can work on them, and they all include the things we need to be successful in life. This base here is very important to you growing and developing just as a person, not as a business person, but just as an individual. So let's dive into it here, okay? So what goes into the fundamentals? We have a core base. What do we need to do now? So keep it simple here. Again, I've broken it down into five base rules, okay? And I believe that 90% of us can agree that these base rules will apply to us, okay? So what goes into the fundamentals? First thing we have to look at is you have to identify your strengths and your weaknesses, okay? Number two, you have to practice. Now, practice is going to be a very loaded base set right now, okay? Because what does practice mean? Does it mean I go and practice a script? Does it mean I go and practice a jump shot if I'm a pro basketball player? Practice is practice. It's going to be a simple thing as we can apply working on our fundamentals, our communication, our appearance, our body language, and our self-awareness. We have to practice these. So, simple thing with communication, and this is something I work on daily, is when I'm sitting down and speaking with others or I'm on the phone with someone, is making sure that clear communication is coming across and that it's understood to where I need it to be understood, because everyone's going to understand something different and they're going to interpret it differently. So got to make sure your communication comes across the way you want it to come across. So practice, practice, practice. Okay? Rehearse. So in this scenario, let's say you have a script at work, okay? So you need to practice, you need to rehearse your script, you need to understand it so that when you meet with someone, you're not sitting there like, what do I do? You need to rehearse it, understand it, but again, apply who you are to using a script if you do use it, okay? This next one, and I've seen this many times and I see it with many of the people I work with, okay? You do not want to add something new until you have mastered your fundamentals you're working on right now, whatever those fundamentals are. I see people that jump ahead and they're like, oh, I'm going to add this in, I'm going to add this in, and then each one of the original fundamentals starts to fall behind one step at a time, and then the next thing is they skip steps into making sure they've mastered them, okay? Now, once you've mastered your core set, you're always going to work on them, but now this is where you can add, and add, okay? But you got to keep repeating. Keep repeating, keep repeating, keep repeating, okay? So now, we've got that out of the way, and now we're going to dive into communication, appearance, body language, self-awareness, attitude, and mindset. So we've already talked about communication a little bit, whether it's verbal, written. Always got to make sure that the message you're trying to get across gets across in the way that you mean it to be. So if you are having a serious talk with someone and that message is serious, you need to make sure it comes across that way. Now, working on communication, many ways to do that. If it's written communication, you can go online. There are tons of free business writing courses if you need them. There are tons of free tutorials on how to work on your writing. I'm using one right now because it's my online communication through emails needed a lot of work. So I focused on that, and I've developed that now to a good level. Still need to work on it more, but I'm getting there. Now, appearance. Appearance is something really big that you got to focus on. If you show up, and let's use the example of you want to make $5 million a year, okay? 9 out of 10 times, you have to dress the part. You have to look the part, because if you're going to make $5 million a year, then the people that you are dealing with are going to hold themselves and their potential investments and business partners to the same standards that they hold themselves to. So, you're going to a work function, you need to dress up, you need to look the part, you need to be in nice clothes. They can't be old clothes, baggy, wrinkly. They got to be nice, okay? Working on your appearance is one of the main things when people take you seriously. You can probably think of examples right now for yourself where you've been at work and maybe you haven't dressed the best and someone isn't taking you as seriously as you wanted them to, okay? Now, body language and self-awareness. This goes back into communication as well, but I wanted to touch on this one specifically because a lot of people, when they're talking with someone, they don't realize that they start to slump. Maybe they get too laid back. Maybe I'm looking directly at you and I'm talking, but you're looking around like this. These are things we have to be aware of, okay? And this now leads into self-awareness. If you're not aware of how your body language is coming across, someone may take your message the wrong way. Now, you could have all the right intent, but they've taken it the wrong way, okay? So, body language, very key when you're speaking with someone, and don't think that someone can't pick up on your body language over the phone, because you've probably had it time and time again where you've talked to someone and you can tell they're not fully into the conversation, and then all of a sudden you notice that the way you're talking is a reflection of you're leaning into the phone like this. You're not engaged, you're not excited. Your excitement is going to create their excitement and is going to get you the responses that you want. Now, this leads into attitude. Attitude, we'll start with just your self-attitude on how your day goes. Many people I've talked to, and I see it every day, they start their days off, something doesn't go the right way at home, their coffee's too cold, didn't get to finish breakfast. They come into work, body language is down a bit. Their attitude from being a person that's really happy, really excited, has dropped down. And this affects their daily routine, which affects their performances, which affects their production, which, again, if we're going to use that $5 million as an example, it's gonna hold you back from making that kind of money. So all these things go hand in hand, and if I have a great attitude, a good attitude, a positive attitude, that's gonna come off on other people. Even if they're having a bad day, it's gonna turn their day around a little bit, and this is gonna create the atmosphere you want for yourself. Now, we have mindset. Mindset is really big. If you go into a day, a week, a month, a year, and you're always down on yourself, you can be the smartest person in the world. You can know everything there is to know about, example, we use a product in this sense. So you can know everything there is about a certain shoe. But if you have that bad mindset, you have that mindset of, I'm not going to do well today, you're not going to do well. You're going to come out of that frustrated, and it's going to trickle over day after day after day. So every day, you got to get into the habit of practicing having a good mindset. I know that things don't always go our way, but we got to keep our mindset upbeat, up high, and just be happy. We're in control of what we do, how we act, which is then going to be a direct effect to how successful we're going to become. Thank you for checking out my YouTube channel. Thank you for checking out my Instagram, guys. If you want to talk about these more in depth, please on my Instagram page, which is robitaille.gregory. Send me a direct message there. We'll set up a time to talk, and I'd love to help you out. Have a great night.